Okay, so I had the merit to learn intensively for 4 years with Paul Pittsford, like a real master of Chinese medicine, nutrition, that kind of thing. And most people I know, they don't really know how to eat. I mean, they're pretty bad at the whole at the whole operation. I have some skill. I have enough skill to know I could be infinitely better. But let's look at a few basics here. Number one, all the stuff you know already, but we have to get into it until we do it. Number one, don't swallow anything until you chew it really well. You know, the Rambam, Moshe Maimonides, possibly the greatest doctor of all time, big rabbi, one of the biggest rabbis of all time, he said 32 times. There's 32 teeth. Chew it 32 times, one for each tooth. Only eat when you're truly hungry. Some people say, I'm never hungry and I just eat. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Very bad idea. Vasant Lad, the big master of Ayurveda, the medicine of India, he said overeating ruins the intelligence of your body. Your body knows exactly what to do. Overeating, just like drugs, it just like messes up your intelligence. I'm always begging my clients to stop their drugs, recreational or pharmaceuticals, because I can tell explicitly the minute I touch them. I can tell how just the intelligence of their body is being ruined by the drugs. I can feel it. It's hard to put into words. It's like a lack of response. You say something to someone who's like drunk and they like can't respond properly. It's like that. Even when I touch people that are on medications, recreational or um, pharmaceutical, recreational or prescribed, I can feel their body doesn't respond. It's like having a conversation with someone who's kind of out of it. You touch the body and it doesn't like respond properly. Does that make sense? So don't ruin the intelligence of your body by overeating, and don't eat close to bedtime a lot. You know, eat light close to bedtime. You don't want the food to just sit in you while you lie there. Just sits in you and like makes toxic environment inside. And eat as simply as possible. Don't eat a ton of different plates at once, different things. The simpler we eat, the better the food digests. The Rambam said, eat one thing in a meal. Oranges. It's a great habit. You just eat one thing in a meal. It just digests better. Food Combining by Herbert Shelton is a classic on this, the great naturopath. Classic book. You can find charts online. Food Combining is great, great habit. Eat foods that are alive. No canned stuff, processed stuff. It's all dead. You go get like things that are fresh. For instance, in India, they press the oils fresh in the markets. You go instead of olive oil sitting there for like 10 months or whatever, you go press olives, get it right there, take it home, use it, everything fresh. So we don't really have that capacity with oils yet. We should, but we just don't have our act together. But in general, anything possible fresh, and for that matter, everything as lightly cooked as possible. Raw food, of course, is great if you can digest it. A lot of people just try to shovel the raw food down because they know it's healthier and they can't really digest it. So then it's, kind of getting unhealthier through trying to be healthier, which is ironic, right? So, the Chinese are smart, they're really into lightly cooking traditionally. You blanch stuff, stick it in the water for 2 seconds, stick it in the boiling water for 5 seconds, take it out. It becomes more digestible, but it retains most of the power. Here's another one I always think about. Never leave your prepared food uncovered, right? everything in life is born, it exists, then it starts to degenerate, and then it dies, and then it degenerates all the way. So when you leave, let's say you cook a pot of rice, you leave it, sitting out open on the counter for a couple hours without the lid on it. No, it's just like the oxygen is going in there, the power is degenerating, it's oxidizing. So want everything, the power and everything preserved. Um, always be active in the morning before you shovel the food in there. The digestion's like a fire. You want the fire to be fully stoked before you put another log in there. Fully stoked, whatever. You want the fire to be. You want the fire of your digestion to be burning before you put a big log on the fire, or else the big log just kind of is soggy and heavy, right? Um, Now the real art comes into eating for your body type. The first time I heard Chinese medical nutrition, wow, it's like a light bulb went off in my head. I thought this is something that everyone needs to know the basics of. It's the whole science. If you're a cold type of person, you wouldn't eat a lot of raw food usually because raw food cools you down. If you're a hot type of person, you wouldn't eat a lot of, you wouldn't smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol. That stuff heats you up. If you're a dry kind of person, you want to eat foods that make you more moist. If you're a moist kind of person, you want to eat foods that make you more dry, right? So it's basically just like farming, you know? I grew up doing a lot of things like organic farming and growing herbs and working in orchards and all that. It's all common sense, but most people, as we know, are cut off from nature and just kind of like lost lost their common sense, basically lost their horse sense, as we call it. So Chinese medicine's approach to nutrition is so common sense, but you know when most people have lost their common sense, what can you do but study what's common sense and try to practice it? Um, so all the time, practically every client I have, they have some kind of condition and they just, research some stuff online, buy some semi-random supplements that they read on some semi-random website, start shoveling them down and don't have great results. Nothing could be more absurd. A master of Chinese medicine, they can read all 12 pulses of the body and you find out, okay, the liver's too strong, the kidneys are too weak, the heart's imbalanced, whatever, and you pick the herbs and nutrition that's very completely specific for your what's going on with you. It's like a puzzle. What's the way? A mystery. You have to, if you're trying to solve a mystery, you get all the clues, you get right on the right track. It's like a real science and art, and people. It's so strange, right? I mean, someone would just waste like 500 whatever, couple $100 on buying some random stuff when they could spend that same exact couple $100 on going to a master, spend $100 on getting a half-hour consultation with the master, and then spend the other $100 on buying the herbs that master told them, and then they have, like a smart way to work on their health. So it's just kind of like an arrogance combined with impulsiveness, right? Medicine's all about patience, True medicine um, requires patience, and true medicine develops patience. That's why John Kabat-Zinn's whole movement, mindfulness-based stress reduction, guy made a big impact. I saw one of his videos. It's kind of like a little rebel, He's like very special. He's become a very, one of his latest videos, like last year, become a real developed guy, kind of saving the world practically. He figured out in his wisdom that to get sick people and imbalanced people to develop their patience is the cure, right? People be like, I can't practice meditation, I'm imbalanced. No, but he really sold it in a sexy, smooth, scientific, non-religious way. Great marketing, great packaging. I used to wrestle with his son Willow, to do jujitsu together. Um, so yeah, and on that matter, to only eat when we're calm. That's a big one, right? Big one. To only eat when we're calm, and to rest after eating. Ideally, to lie on your left side. It's I forget what it is. It's something about the bile helps the bile secrete into the gallbladder. Something from Ayurveda. You lie on your left side after eating. They feel it's a great habit. Not to take a big sleep after eating. Rest 10 minutes, 20 minutes. The Rambam again. He says to have too much activity directly after eating is a horrible habit. To breathe well before, during, and after eating. Yeah, we're really eating the oxygen, the oxygen, the air going into our system while we eat and helping digest everything. Um, to give thanks before, during, and after the food. Like the amount of work it takes to produce anything we eat. It's just incredible, right? Someone planted the seed, someone watered it, harvested it, whatever, took care of it, harvested it, brought it here, brought it there, packaged it. It's a whole incredible thing. And God was behind it all. So just to give thanks, thankfulness builds the health, and the opposite ruins the health. I notice, like with all my patients, there's always some kind of like bad attitude mixed, bad attitude mixed in there. Rabbi Nachman says the most inconceivably deep truth. He says all sickness is connected. A lack of happiness is the source of all disease. Inconceivably deep concepts. I didn't deserve this. Everyone's got some crazy trip that makes them sick, and then they come in there like with their sickness, and you can see the crazy trip is creating the sickness moment by moment, preserving the sickness. So then you try to like counsel people how they can shift their health, and they get even more defensive. Medicine is a real art and science, I'll tell you. And fasting, a wonderful habit. That basically is, goes without saying when I say don't eat unless you're hungry. A lot of people would end up fasting for a day just because their system is a lot of people, if I said don't eat unless you're hungry, if they really paid attention, they'd fast for a day once in a while, because people get so out of whack, and then they just keep shoveling food down, and they're out of whack, and they're running here it's just completely off. Only eat if you're hungry. A great habit is to give some charity to the poor before you eat. Even if you can't give it to someone's hand, you just have a little container in your house. It's called a pushka in Torah. A little container in your house, you put a coin in there. It's like you're keeping in mind all the people around the world that have problems with poverty. It really enriches your appreciation of what you got. Yeah. So in Japanese folk medicine, they say all disease enters through the mouth. Heavy, right? All disease enters through the mouth. Okay, so you should be blessed to only make yourself stronger through eating and never weaker. All right. May you be healthy.